Okay, so today we'll be talking about eating disorders. What are some eating disorders and what could be the signs of them? What the students will learn, and at this point I will kind of just go over everything that they should be learning today and what some eating disorders are. And also some students are more learners. If they write it down, they can remember it better. So this kind of describes the activity that we will be doing later on today. The next thing that I would do is I would go over the two types of eating disorders that are most common. Anorexia is an eating disorder that makes people lose more weight than is considered healthy for their age and weight. Persons with the disorder may have an intense fear of weight gain even when they are underweight. They may diet or exercise to use or other ways to lose weight. So I would give some examples to the students of some more anorexia, and at this point I would kind of have the students be challenging them and having them think of other signs that they know of or that they have done research about. The next eating disorder I would go over is bulimia. I would read the definition, and it would be: bulimia is an illness that which a person binges on food or has regular episodes of overeating and feels loss of control. The person then uses different methods such as vomiting or using laxatives to prevent weight gain. Many, but not all, people with bulimia also have anorexia. The same thing with bulimia. I would just have some examples already up. So like broken blood vessels, along with taking laxatives, and that they could be normal or overweight. And also I would just have the students be thinking about some more signs that they know of. So at this point in time, I would be describing the activity that the students would be doing. So I'm saying that we have 20 students in the class. So it would be 5 groups of 5. After discussing the two main types, I would just have them divide them one more time so they can kind of know what they are. Then after this slide, we have some scenarios. So I would have them be thinking in the groups about different ways that they could do that. And then after they read the scenario, I would have them label why it went there with the eating disorder. And then the very last one, I know it's hard to see, but it just says list the signs of eating disorders. So, as you see, the first scenario just kind of gives an example of 3 friends that have been friends since they were in elementary school. As life goes on, they continue to see different changes in the life. So after reading the scenario, I would have the students list of certain words that they see in the scenario that would make them seem like they would have an eating disorder, and also list which eating disorder that they would have. The next scenario I would have would be scenario number 2, and once again, it's 3 friends that have been best friends, and they always go out to eat. They sometimes go out to eat, or they eat inside, and one day a friend starts noticing that Jill isn't eating as much as she used to, and so Betty, her friend, kind of starts talking to her and seeing what's going on. So it kind of asks, what disorder does Jill have? And along with the other scenario, I would have the students list signs of each one, and then what they see about this one, and where they think that Jill's disorder would go into. So here I have an example of everything that another group has already done. So at the very beginning, you see that the group is labeled Group 1, and that there is the anorexia down at the very top, and they have listed 3 different signs that they see, that they know and done research that would explain anorexia. The second you see is bulimia, and they have put some signs also that they have done research over bulimia and certain symptoms that they would get. And at the very bottom, you see where it says Scenario 1 is anorexia, and they have labeled Scenario 2 as bulimia. After having that read and they've gone over the symptoms and signs, that is correct. So this group did a very excellent job. So that's just one way I would do the first activity. Alright, so then after doing that and discussing with the groups about that, we go to our next activity, which will take some time with having 20 students in. But they will be using magazines that have been donated that they brought to class, markers, and some glue. The students will cut out words along with pictures of how they see what they look like and how they feel. And then we'll discuss the students' work that they have gone over. So I have an example like that. Now this is what I would not recommend because it does not look like a high schooler has done this. But at the very top it says, "Who am I?" And then it has confident and beautiful, a leader, and then too young to die kind of throws in there because they don't think that high schoolers should be dotting. They're strong and sweet, funny and friendly, and they put a smile because they're always smiling. And at the very corner, you see love, and they try to love a lot of people. But as you see, this isn't what I would say a high schooler would be work quality. It kind of looks thrown together. They didn't put very much thought into it. So after they have done that and each person has described what they have done, we would put it up on the wall, and just so they could keep reminding themselves of everything of what they think that they are. The HGMI, when the posters and when doing the posters and working as a group, the students will be working on their logistics along with interpersonal because they will be in groups, and it's also just working together and getting words to as they see it. In the activity, when using the magazines and cutting out words along with pictures, students will experience the interpersonal. Knowing about themselves, they will be using visual since they're cutting out clippings of pictures. So those are my HGMI through the activities. And then here we just have the references of where I got everything. So I hope y'all enjoyed this activity. Thank y'all so much.